Hi everybody, so this is the first Friday vlog reflection, and I'm going to start with what and how I learned over the course of the week. One thing I really took from this week was the feedback aspect of the first 2 days of classes, just based on, giving each other feedback on our videos, on what we can improve on, and just especially the judgment aspect of class. I didn't really realize I was judging. I know it's like a human thing, but it's one thing I do want to stay away from in order to be successful in the class. So that was one thing I took from class this week. Also, watching everybody else's videos made me connect points that I didn't really have fully developed in my own studying and note writing. I think watching each other's videos will definitely help us kind of expand on our own ideas if we're kind of stalled. And then the last thing I learned was novel form versus genre. I kept picking like a genre instead of a novel form, and I think that kind of kind of delayed my research process in a way. Another thing that I learned was in another class we're reading a book called Tell It Slant. It's a book just focusing on creative nonfiction and how to write it. And we actually ran across, coincidentally, a short reading about Virginia Woolf and Mrs. Dalloway. And it focused on saying that sentence structure affects meaning. And it took me, for me to understand Mrs. Dalloway, it took me a while until I actually read that book. So I actually reread the first 48 pages, and everything just kind of made much more sense. If you just slow down and take your time with the novel, I think it'll be way more beneficial than when you try to rush, because it is definitely not a novel you can rush through. As far as my research progress, I originally wanted to do a psychological thriller, and now I'm kind of stepping into the dystopian novel. I've had experience with the dystopian novel in high school, and I saw somebody had mentioned it on the genre list, so I decided to kind of go back and explore the novel type, simply because I've read 1984 by George Orwell, which is a dystopian novel, and I really enjoyed reading it. However, I haven't had any other experience with the novel form, so I figured it would be something that I would enjoy and something that would also challenge me, because I didn't want it to be something too comfortable to where, it's just a breeze going through the research project, and I don't think that's the point of the project overall. As far as the research project, that's the only new discovery I've kind of made. I mean, one of the books that I will read will be 1984 by George Orwell, because I've read it before. However, I don't remember exactly everything that happened. I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to do. I'm probably going to go to the bookstore this weekend and see what I can find and see what interests me within that novel form. As far as the first week of classes, this first week has been really interesting. I came out of last semester having so many books to read, and I was like, I don't want to go into the second semester with millions of books. Long story short, I have 22 books to read this semester, so yay me. I say it so sarcastically, but I'm actually excited, because I feel like even though each semester I always have a challenge, I feel like my classes kind of coincide with each other, and it just happens by coincidence, and it helps me figure out how different things work from different aspects. So I'm taking a creative nonfiction class, which is the class that kind of helped me with Mrs. Dalloway. So honestly, I'm just really excited about this semester. I know it's going to take a lot of planning and a lot of hard work, but I'm definitely excited for you. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. It's 3-day weekend, and we probably won't have another one of those until spring break. So have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you on Wednesday.